When you're interviewing for a job, employers, they typically ask what your strengths and your weaknesses are, but what's the best way to answer those questions? Well, we're back with business and career coach Angela Lussier with more. Why is it that our employers want to know our strengths and weaknesses? Because it's kind of a trick question. They want us to lie in a sense, but they want you to be honest, but why do they want you to tell them your strengths and weaknesses?
Well, I think it's a two-pronged answer. One is to see how self-aware you are, because people who are self-aware are usually able to think critically and able to solve problems and think bigger about the organization. And then also they want to see how you can be an asset. What kinds of skills do you bring to the job, and are they the correct skills for the job you're looking to get?
Now, how can you improve on some of your skills? Maybe what if they ask you a question like that?
Well, you need to know what it is that you're really good at. And a way to do that is similar to the passion exercise, where you become present in the work you're doing each day. So I tell people, take out a sheet of paper, and as you're going through each task in your day, think about how is it going? Are you looking forward to doing it? Are you procrastinating? Are you just trying to get it done? Or are you like, this is the part of my day I look forward to most? Because typically that is your strength. And if there's something that you really don't want to get done, that's usually your weakness.
Now, once we've determined the weaknesses, what's a good course of action? And maybe is it important that we tell our employer that, like with a caveat, maybe this is my weakness, but here's how I want to rectify it?
That's exactly what you want to do. And that's the reason that employers ask that question, because they want to know that you've recognized that there's something you need to work on, because no one's perfect. And then they want to know that you're taking action to do something about it. And they want to know that you know why it's important to you. So one thing I recognize about myself is I was not good at public speaking. And I realized that was something I probably need to know. So I took public speaking courses, and then I increased my communication skills as someone who owns a business. So that's something that employers really need to see, is that whole thought process.
Now, I know we touched on it, but let's get a little more in depth. I'm sure a lot of people are watching the show and they're wondering to themselves, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Because maybe a lot of people have been in the same job for a long time or have never been tasked with trying to figure it out. So take us through step by step. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier, but how can people determine these strengths and these weeknesses?
Just pick a task that you do every day. Maybe if you're someone who works at a desk, it's checking your email and sending out a report. And think about, during sending that report, do you enjoy putting all of the notes together? Do you enjoy thinking about who's going to read it and how they're going to benefit from it? Do you enjoy reviewing the report after the fact? And when you can really clearly understand which parts of each process you enjoy and you're good at, then you can come back and say, okay, what do I need to improve, and what part of it am I really strong at?
And I think if I'm a potential employer, I'm looking at that with a great amount of appreciation and gusto, because you know that these people not only want to get better, but they think about it.
Exactly, and that's what A players and the most successful people do, is they keep on evaluating themselves and looking at ways to evolve and grow in a professional life.
And similarly, this can be the ultimate turnaround. You can take a weakness and turn it into a strength.
Yep.
And I'm sure if the employer sees that, they're even more impressed, because they know that you've identified it as an area of weakness, and going forward it's going to be great.
Great.
Now,
exactly.
Next week, we're going to be back. What are we going to be doing next week?
Next week, we're going to be evaluating the two paths. Do you want to go and get a promotion and continue your career path, or should you start a business? And this is one of my favorite topics.
It's interesting, because I think a lot of people are, if you're disgruntled with your job or anything like that, you're sitting at home and you're saying, oh, I'm going to start a new business. But maybe, just maybe, you're not challenging yourself enough at your current job. You're right, it's an intriguing dynamic. So we're going to discuss all of that next week. Moreover, you can find all this information and so much more at mymassappeal.com.